This is Genetics, Genomics, and You, where we discuss the innovative and exciting research being done by faculty here at our university. Today, we are focusing on two different studies from a collaborative, interdisciplinary team concerning a pest that all North Carolinians will be familiar with, the mosquito.
And the mosquitoes that we're targeting both in this study and actually just as citizens that we really don't like are the ones that we find in our backyard, mostly the tiger mosquito. The Latin name is Aedes albopictus.
Aedes albopictus, the tiger mosquito, is the main day-biting mosquito in the southeastern United States. It's an invasive species. This species has a global distribution and is a vector for many human and animal diseases such as Zika, chikungunya, dengue, and it's also responsible for transmitting dog heartworm.
In areas where diseases like Zika and malaria are endemic, pyrethroids are some of our strongest defenders to control disease spread via mosquitoes. However, in North Carolina, the majority of pyrethroid use is used to prevent nuisance bites in people's backyards.
We like to be able to kill our mosquitoes, right? And one of the main approaches we take is by spraying a chemical insecticide. Most of the time, it's a type of insecticide called a pyrethroid, and these are very effective at killing insects. However, as we find with all insecticides we've ever invented, eventually we get resistance to those insecticides. And in this case, it's called knockdown resistance, because normally these pyrethroid insecticides just knock a mosquito down. Affects their nervous system, they can't move, they actually twitch and fall down.
This inspired us to conduct two studies, one that looked at the pattern of resistance in the suburban landscape of Wake County, and a second one that went back to our archived frozen mosquitoes that we had been collecting since 2015 and see when the molecular signal of resistance first appeared. To accomplish this, we assembled a team that included evolutionary geneticists, mathematical modelers, epidemiologists, mosquito ecologists, and molecular geneticists and economists to address the question of whether we see increasing resistance in Wake County and why. So the key finding in our first paper, which was led by Dr. Jennifer Baltziger, is that we did not have resistant mosquitoes in Wake County in our samples from 2016 and 2017. We see 4 individuals for the first time in 2018, and these individuals were actually nearby each other. They were in one little cluster. From there, we've seen a steady increase from 2018 to 2023, where we had broad sampling and found 39% of the individuals had resistance, and this was completely unexpected. For the second paper that was led by Dr. Cole Butler, we wanted to understand the pattern of resistance in Wake County. Was it clustered? Was it evenly distributed? There was greater resistance in wealthier areas. We suspect this is because mosquito control in most places in North Carolina is private. Homeowners with money will pay to spray for mosquitoes, which selects for localized resistance. And this is probably what was causing this pattern of clustering of insecticide resistance.
However, over time, as more and more resistance builds up a population, it will become harder to control populations. The insecticides will no longer be as effective. We'll want to maintain the efficacy of our insecticides, especially the ones that are safe to spray around people and children at homes, because we do have a limited amount of chemicals that meet those criteria.
There are a number of important things to take away from this research. Number one, a reliance on just chemical insecticides is never the best way to control a pest. We really want to integrate pest management practices that look at the whole life cycle of the pest. That means targeting the immature larval phase of the mosquito. And they live in small bodies of water, particularly artificial containers. So cleaning up anything that can hold rainwater in your backyard is a good idea to help control these mosquitoes and doesn't rely on chemical insecticides to kill the biting adult mosquitoes.
This is a reminder that the choices that we make as individuals, like contracting a private backyard mosquito control company to spray mosquitoes, may have unintended consequences and affects our ability to respond to disease outbreaks. which ultimately has a greater consequence for people than the nuisance of being bit by a mosquito.